Titanic, eine der wirklich grandiosen Schöpfungen des deutschen Filmes. Die frevelhafte Jagd nach einem Rekord, getrieben von Leidenschaft und Liebe, fand mit dem Untergang der Titanic ihr tragisches Ende in den eisigen Fluten des Ozeans.
Titanic is a 1943 German propaganda film produced during World War II in Berlin by Tobis Productions for UFA. This film was the third German-language adaptation of the event, following a 1912 silent film released just months after the disaster and the 1929 British-German film Atlantic. Commissioned by Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, the film aimed to showcase German filmmaking superiority while serving as a propaganda tool. It sought to place blame for the disaster on British and American capitalism. To emphasize the heroism and selflessness of Germans, a fictional character, German officer Petersen, was added to the ship's crew, contrasting him with the British officers. The screenplay was adapted from a popular German novel by Joseph Peltz von Fellinau, though he did not receive credit in the final film. After the propaganda ministry gave its final approval for the script in March 1942, filming of interior scenes began shortly after in Berlin. Starting in May 1942, exterior scenes were shot at the German-occupied Polish Baltic seaport of Gdynia, renamed Gott en Hafen, and aboard the SS Cap Arcona, a passenger liner that eventually met a fate similar to the Titanic. After a week of difficult filming aboard the Cap Arcona, amid nearby Allied bombing raids, Herbert Selpin called a crisis meeting where he made disparaging remarks about the Kriegsmarine officers who were supposed to serve as marine consultants for the film, but were instead more focused on tormenting female cast members. Selpin's close friend and co-writer, Walter Zerlett-Olfenius, reported him to the Gestapo, leading to Selpin's swift arrest and interrogation by Joseph Goebbels, the driving force behind the Titanic project. However, Selpin refused to retract his comments, infuriating Goebbels, who had personally selected him to direct the film. Within 24 hours of his arrest, Selpin was found hanged in his jail cell, and his death was officially ruled a suicide. Some have speculated that Goebbels ordered Selpin's execution. The cast and crew were outraged by his death and considered retaliation, but Goebbels responded by issuing a directive that anyone who shunned Zerlett-Olfenius, the man who had reported Selpin, would face personal consequences. With production costs spiraling out of control, the unfinished film was ultimately completed by Werner Klingler, who went uncredited for his work. Though Titanic had a brief theatrical release in parts of German-occupied Europe starting in November 1943, it was banned from screening in Germany by Goebbels. Titanic was originally planned to premiere in early 1943, but the theatre holding the answer print was bombed by Royal Air Force planes the night before the event. The film eventually had a respectable premiere in Paris in November 1943, where it was surprisingly well received by the audience. It also played successfully in several other Nazi-occupied capitals, such as Prague. 4 clips from the film were reused in the critically acclaimed 1958 British film A Night to Remember, 2 of the ship sailing in calm waters during the day, and 2 brief clips of a flooding walkway in the engine room.